Hey guys, Thunder E here and welcome to our first look at the Huawei P40 Pro. And of course this is a gaming centric first look. But this device is stunning at first glance. Huawei has crafted something that looks really good in any lighting conditions, and they do this on a regular basis with the P line. So I'm glad to see it here. It's frosted back. Now this version I have is frosted back, but there are other versions, other colors. I believe the only two colors with the frosted back. Now, when you look at the back of the device, you can clearly see the camera array. And yes, this houses a 50 megapixel sensor. It also houses a 5x optical and of course an ultra wide time of flight sensor. There's a lot of information packed, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. But when we bank around to the front of the device, the first thing you clearly see is that it also has a dual camera setup in the front. 32 megapixels, time of flight. Again, we'll talk about that when we go to the camera. But that display though has quad curved corners, if you will. So each corner of the display is curved, and also its resolution is 2640 by 1200 full HD plus. It's at 6.5 inches, but the main thing we care about, it's a 90 Hz display, which means of course while you're browsing the web and scrolling around, it's fast, it's smooth, but also when you're gaming, you're gonna get better fluidity and motion while you're gaming. And that's the kind of thing that I like with this kind of devices. And I'm glad to see that Huawei has it here. Now some of you might go, why not 120 Hertz? Which is great, but I think kind of looking at what we have currently in the Android space, I think that supporting 90 Hertz for them, they're probably going, well, there are a lot of games that support 90 Hertz. This makes a lot of sense. So hey, maybe that's what they did, but I like that they've actually gone and done that with this device. Now it's powered by the Kirin 995G, and the 995G looked impressive to me initially. It was just more responsive in terms of gaming performance, and also being able to push a little bit higher benchmarks, which you see a little bit in this video. Now this comes with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage on the device as well. Now it also comes with a single mono speaker, though loud, so you take a listen, but why not even waste any more time and check out some gameplays from Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, Fortnite, King of Fighters, and a few games that are 90 Hz as well. All right, that was quite impressive. I think what you notice, at least from first glance with the Huawei P40 Pro, that gaming wise, the 995G as well as the 8 gigs of RAM handles really well. Fluidity in motion was really nice. The display really responded well, of course, at the higher frame rates. And seeing games like King of Fighters play at 90 Hertz, as well as also Shadow Fight 3, I think was really nice. The other thing, of course, some people might wonder is, what about streaming services? Can you actually play and open up those apps on your Huawei device? Yes, you can. Whether you're playing Project X Cloud or GeForce Now, they work really well. And of course, imagine the fact that you can play something like, Call of Duty Warzone on your mobile device, on this device itself here. It's totally worth it and makes a whole lot of sense. Now you're thinking, okay, what about the battery size? It's a 4200 milliamp battery, and yes, it's a smaller battery, but Huawei does a really good job with its battery management. I was quite impressed with what I initially saw with this device. I would say that, look, for the amount of time I shot this video with, which was pretty much the day before this video came out, in about 4 hours I drained about 40%, which was good. Now, speaking of that, Huawei also packs this device with a 40-watt charger, so you give some really fast charging time, but it's also coupled and supports a 40-watt wireless charger. That is insane. That's truly insane. Plus, it does have, of course, reverse wireless charging. Now, that's nuts. So you've got all this stuff packed into this device, and we now move back to those cameras that we talked about earlier and what they bring to the table. The front-facing camera actually does a really good job with portrait shots, and the rear cameras, of course, Huawei is trying to continue its legacy with the P line, where photography is one of its biggest things, and the photos look really sharp, they look vibrant, the low light photos also look good. Again, my initial impressions is nothing set in stone, but I'm liking what I see here from what the P40 Pro brings to the table. Now, for you guys, if you want to see more of those camera comparisons and things like that, let me know. Leave the comments down below. If you want to see a camera review as well of the P40 Pro, I'll gladly do that for you. I think overall, though, what this brings to the table with the kind of performance it packs and also the features it packs in here,